Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tupande's first ever Fireside Chat. I will be your host for the day, Mikhala Barasa. I work with Tupande's legal department, and today I am joined by...
Thank you, Mikhala. My name is Benard Kibet. I lead the tree program at Tupande, and I'm happy today to talk about the trees. Yeah.
Okay. You know, they say he that plants trees loves others beside himself. So at least Benard starts on the right foot. So Benard, please tell us a bit about Tupande, what Tupande does.
Thank you so much. So Tupande started in 2006. Started in Bungoma, and Tupande supports like small-scale farmers. We started mostly providing maize farm inputs. But we have like diversified as we progressed on and get to know the needs of the farmers. We've provided more inputs to farmers, and currently we are in almost 5 regions in Kenya. And we have diversified our products based on the needs of those farmers in various parts of the country.
Now, I know also WKA Fund is very big on climate change and on sustainability and kind of like making sure we are aligned with the SDGs, and especially the SDG on climate action and building sustainable communities. So my question to you around this is, how can the people that are interested in joining WKA Fund in fulfilling these SDGs and kind of benefiting themselves as farmers get access to trees or like be part of the tree program?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good question. We absolutely want to have more people to access our tree products and be able to, plant trees in every place that they are in, right? So we have about 330 nurseries in the 5 regions that we operate in, right? So in those nurseries, each of that nursery, they're planting between like 150,000 to 200,000 seedlings, right?
Wow, okay.
So we have raised really large quantities of seedlings, and it's at this time right now that we would want, farmers to come to our nurseries and collect the seedlings, right? I know most of us have seen like the Tupande shops, right? So if you go to a Tupande shop, you should be able to be directed to the nearby tree nursery so that you can collect seedlings from the nursery. Okay. Also, if you're interested to, to collect seedlings, you can enroll by dialing like *689#.
Wait. Look straight into the camera and say those words again.
Okay, yeah. So if you, we encourage you to be able to like enroll into our tree program by dialing *689#, and then you will be able to like follow a prompt to be able to enroll. You get to select your region, you get to select the nearby town, and be able to select the nearby nursery. And when you go to the nearby nursery, we have like various varieties of the tree seedlings, and you'd be able to actually get for Tupande farmers, you'll be able to get like more than 30 free seedlings, and for non-Tupande farmers, you'll be able to like get more than 20 free seedlings. And you have an opportunity to purchase. You'll be able to like purchase more seedlings apart from the free seedlings that we give to the farmers. Yeah.
He said free seedlings.
Yes.
Free seedlings.
Sorry.
2030.
Exactly.
Free seedlings.
Yes.
So Kibet, you've mentioned that WKA Fund is in 5 different regions in Kenya. And I know some of our viewers, I know you are wondering where these 5 regions are. So please just tell our viewers a snapshot of where these areas are, so that people can be able to have a rough idea of where they might find Tupande by WKA.
Yeah, exactly. So as I mentioned, we are in 5 regions. So we are in Nyanza. We also are in Lower Western and Upper Western. We are also in Rift. We are in Mount Kenya. And we combine Mount Kenya and Coast. So we are in Coast region also. So we can say maybe 6 regions. Yeah.
Okay, sawa.
Yeah.
Na hapa ni wapi? Hapa kwenye tuko leo ni wapi? Ni region gani? Kibet?
Exactly.
Hii ni region gani?
So
please tell them.
This is Mount Kenya. This is our Karatina nursery. It's one of the really good nurseries. And we have about 200,000 seedlings in this specific nursery. So we really encourage you, especially if you're in Karatina. So this is the nursery to come, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been with WKA Fund, which is currently called Tupande in Kenya, since 2019. So it's my 5th year this year, and I'm really very excited at what I'm doing at the moment. Yeah.
Sasa tunajua amemaliza presidential term WKA Fund, pengine ni 5 tena. So tell us a little bit about the trees program, what it is about, what you love about it, the achievements of the tree program. Just take us through the trees program for WKA Fund.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the tree program started way back in 2019. And at that time, we were providing a tree kit to a farmer. So we were providing seeds and the sockets so that the farmers can go and plant.
Wait.
Okay.
Please show us what a socket is. You're saying a tree and a socket.
Okay,
We need to see
yes.
a socket.
And actually, I have like a socket today. I mean, I have a tree that is in a socket. So previously, before we went to this mode of tree production, we used to give like a socket, which is like a tube that the farmer puts soil in it, and then be able to like raise a seedling. And we were giving seeds, right, for the farmer to raise the seedlings themselves. But we realized that adoption is very low with that method. Farmers found it really difficult in producing the seeds themselves, producing the seedlings themselves. That is, having to take care of the seedling from planting to when it is ready like this to be planted in the fields, right? So we took the hard part of it ourselves and produced the seedlings. And once a seedling is ready like this, right, we give it to the farmers and then they go and plant it to the field.
Okay, so you made work easier for the farmer.
Absolutely.
Now you're beginning to understand Kibet's job, right? Okay, so please tell us, of the farmers that you've given these tree seedlings, what impact does giving them the seedlings have on them?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Mikhala. So trees have an amazing, impact to farmers. There are various uses that a farmer use their trees for, right? Like for example, we've heard stories from farmers saying that, I've been able to plant these trees, I've been able to like sell the trees and be able to like pay for school fees for their kids, right? Pay for the college fee for the kids, right? We've also had stories from farmers saying, they have sold the trees and they've been able to like absorb some shock, right? Like for example, unexpected things like medication, right? So we've had farmers selling trees to be able to like meet such unexpected cost. Yeah.
Okay, so what is the lifespan or average lifespan of the trees that Tupande gives to farmers?
Yeah, so Tupande, we provide like really wide range of tree varieties. So this year we have about more than 25 tree species that we have in various nurseries in the whole country. So a given tree species has different lifespan, right? An example, this one here, it's a Grevillea. It takes about 3 to 5 years for it to be mature and be able to be sold, right, for various purposes. Yeah. So we have also like fruit trees, like for example avocado. Avocado takes between 3 to 4 years for it to start like producing fruits, and the farmer to start like selling the fruits or enjoying the
avocado in 3 to 4 years.
Yes.
3 to 4 years.
Yes, exactly. And what we did for some varieties like avocado, maybe to stay on that, is that we grafted so that we grafted using like a desired variety, right? Like at the moment we have like Hass variety, which is a desired variety because it takes a shorter period for it to start producing fruits, right? But the indigenous one like take a longer period, like up to 6 years for it to start fruiting. But the indigenous one take a shorter period, and that's why we like try to improve to meet the needs of the market, and also to make sure that our farmers that plant those trees are getting revenue as soon as possible. Yeah.
I think maybe as you tie that to us on why you as Kibet, and this might be a personal opinion, why you think it is important for a farmer to actually come pick trees from a nursery like this one and actually grow them on their farm.
Yeah, exactly. So as I mentioned, like there are really various benefits of planting trees, right? Starting from direct benefits of, I would be able to plant these trees, then be able to cut them, sell them, to get a certain amount of revenue from it, right? But there are also other benefits, like it adds to the nutritious aspect of the soil, right? Fertility of the soil. Like for example, Grevillea has fixed nitrogen to soil, right? So that is adding to it increases the production of other crops that is being planted in the field, right? So that is one other benefit. The other benefit is, we know climate change is real, right? And we really need to plant trees for it to like absorb more carbon from the atmosphere, right? So that's another benefit that is helping in combating climate change. The other benefit, of course, is control of the soil erosion, right? So that's another really huge benefit, because for us to be able to cultivate or use a given piece of land for a longer period, we have to make sure that the soil is not being continually eroded, right? And one really important part of it is planting trees so that it can hold the soil and when it rains, right, the soil is not going to be washed away. Yeah. Also, farmers, most of our farmers use also trees as a source of fuel at their homes, right? So when even like pruning the tree, they use the branches as fuel in their homes. And also for some tree species, it's being also used as medicine, right? Like for example, neem, which is normally called mwarubaini, right? So it's one of the species that we provide in our tree nurseries, and farmers are able to like use it for medicinal purposes or even feeding their animals, right? Yeah, so there are really so many importance and uses of the tree products, right from the roots to the stem or the timber itself to the leaves. Yeah, so it has really range of benefits. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who thought mwarubaini is a plant that is not a tree, maybe like a shrub, now you know. Now, when is a good time for farmers to plant trees? And I ask this because when we were coming in here, the owner of this beautiful tree nursery, I hope the camera will show you how beautiful this tree nursery is. The owner of this tree nursery was kind of telling me about the challenges with her growing trees, and talking about it's a bit challenging in the dry season, and she has to get a solar panel and put it down there near the river and pump the water and for the water to come to the tree. So when is a good time for farmers to start planting trees?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good question, right? So as I mentioned, one of the challenges that the farmers experience when we give them the seeds for them to go and plant or raise the seedling themselves was watering the seedling, right, from its tender stage to when it is ready for being distributed, right? So we took, as WKA Fund, we took like that hard task of raising the seedlings, and then once it's ready, it's distributed to farmers, right? So the right time to be able to plant these seedlings, right, is at the onset of the long rains, right? And why do we actually do that, right? When a seedling is planted during the long rains, it gets water for a longer period of time, right? So it gets to establish itself so that when the dry season comes, the root system is well established, right? So it won't be affected so much by the drought or the long dry spell, right? So we usually encourage clients to plant seedlings as soon as, the long rain starts, so that it gets like a longer period of rain and establishes itself. So this is actually the right time, right? It's the onset of the long rains in most parts of the Kenya. So we really encourage clients to come and collect seedlings around this time so that they can have like high survival rate. And that is actually very key, right? It's not about just planting the tree. It's about also thinking about, after 2 years, will that tree still be there, right? Has it been able to grow from being a seedling to now being a full-grown tree? And, survival rate is a very key thing there. And when you plant during like, the onset of the long rains, gets rains for a longer period, the survival rate is quite high. Yeah.
So I know last year, the Kenyan government was rolling out a program to kind of try and plant 15 billion trees by
2030.
2030. And I know 2032 actually.
Okay, yes.
And I know WKA Fund has a similar project. Would you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah.
And how the Tupande program kind of fits into that global project?
Exactly. So WKA Fund is the whole program that is operating in about 9 countries, have a plan also to plant about 1 billion trees by 2030, right? So we segmented it into 2 sections. So there is the first part of it from that comes up to the end of this year, that is 2024, we need to have like planted 250 million seedlings, right? And then now from 2025 to 2030, we need to plant the other remaining, that is 750 million seedlings, right? So the Kenyan program has a target of planting 75 million seedlings by the end of this year, right? So this year plays a very, important mark in our 1 billion tree seedling journey, because we need to hit that first bigger target of 75 million as the Kenyan program. And as the old WKA Fund, we need to plant like 250 million, right? We are on a very good trajectory. We are 100% sure that we will be able to hit that 75 million.
That was my next question.
Exactly. Yeah, so we will be able to like hit that 75 million because at the moment we've planted about 60 million seedlings.
Okay.
Right? So we already have like about 10 million to plant.
Okay.
Right? But the target for this year actually is to distribute and plant 52 million seedlings. So we will be way past the initial target of 75 million. So we will have started like, looking into the remaining part of it, like the 750 million. Yeah.
And when you talk about distributing these trees and giving them to farmers, my curiosity is also around whether or not you kind of train these farmers or like give them the tools to be able to like, just so that I don't leave with the tree here and get home and don't know what to do with it. Is there any follow-up on it? What is it that Tupande and you as Kibet and your team do when you hand these seedlings over to the farmers?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good question, right? I started by mentioning that, it's not just important for us to distribute seedlings, right? As that seedling being planted at the farmer's home, right? As that seedling being taken care of, as it been planted well as it should be, so that it doesn't have negative impact, if at all it has, at the farmer's home, right? So during the distribution period, we get to give a planting guide to a farmer and take them through how they should be planting various kind of tree species, right? There are some tree species that maybe needs to be planted, a given distance away from the home premises, right? There are some tree species that needs to be planted, has to be some distance away from where they are planting other crops, right? So we do give that reference card that it's a guide for the farmer to be able to know how to take care of various species, right? So that helps farmer to be able to like take care. And then also we also have like digital ways of farmers to be able to like learn how to take care of a tree at home, right? Like for example, like pruning it when it's at a certain stage, so that a tree can get like a proper trunk. And get like the maximum size it can be. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the nice interview. So I was asked to ask you to tell us one fun fact about trees. I know you know a lot about trees, man. I know like your knowledge on trees is... My fun fact was this nursery holds 200,000, but you already told us that. But tell us something fun about trees, or what we don't know about trees, or what you love about being part of the tree program.
Yeah, exactly. So I love everything about being part of the tree program, right? But maybe I would actually, say, before I joined the tree program, I would not even like imagine that we are able to like raise 200,000, tree seedlings in such a small space.
Neither did I.
Yeah,
Neither did I.
Being able to like have seedlings like this, 200,000 of them in a space about like 30 meters by 30 meters, right? So this is really an amazing thing. And this has enabled us to raise a lot of seedlings, right? I was talking about we've distributed more than 60 million seedlings like this, right? So we've just been using like small spaces like this and be able to distribute such a larger quantity of seedlings. So it tells us really, we don't really need a lot of investment for us to be able to, plant a lot of trees. Even using a very small space like this, we are able to like make a change, make impact, bring more, bring more impact to farmers. And the other actually important thing on how we are operating as Tupande is we try to raise seedlings that can be intercropped with other food species, so that we don't cut down the crop production, right? So like for example, the grevillea tree, it does so well. You can plant other other crops beneath it, but the production will still be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are your words of wisdom? What is your parting shot? What is it that you want people to come and do, or like anything that you can tell us to appreciate?
Yeah, exactly. So my parting shot would be, because it's the start of the rainy season, right? We have about 52 million seedlings in our nurseries, in the 330 nurseries. So it would be really great for us Tupande miti by Tupande.
Oh, that's nice. Like, how can I top that? Thank you so much for tuning in. I have been your host, Mikhala Barasa, and thank you for watching. Please follow the guides that Kibet has given us, and I hope to see you at the next Fireside Chat. I have had so much fun with this. Have a lovely day. Bye.